Phoebe,
Yes.
welcome back.
Thank you.
How does it feel to be back on campus at AUB?
It's very strange, but I'm very happy to be back. It feels like I was here kind of yesterday, but also feels very long.
Yep.
Because everything has changed and the buildings and everything's just so new. But it's also it's really nice to just be able to walk down memory lane and be kind of familiar with like people like you and like and just like the surroundings, Yeah.
So, I mean, quite a journey, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, from Bournemouth to Brooklyn,
Yes.
which is kind of quite
Very different.
two places not usually put into the same sentence.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that time that you thought to yourself, New York is right for me.
So New York wasn't really in the plan after I graduated from Bournemouth. London was the plan.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I had the chance to go to New York for Fashion Week, I fell in love with the city. And I think after that trip, I think it was only like a 10-day trip, maybe, or even less. Fell in love with.
And this is when you were living in Miami?
In Miami, yeah. So yeah, we were in Miami, and then went to New York just for Fashion Week. Barely got paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
Lived like the $15 a night sofa life. Fell in love with the city, and then I think I kind of just knew that New York was the place I wanted to be. That was comparable to London, but something about New York, like it just felt right. So I went back to my husband and I was like, we're moving next year. And he's like, no, that's too soon. And then a year and a half later, we moved to New York and we settled in Brooklyn.
So am I right in thinking that that week that you spent in New York was a week that you happened to bump into a couple of your old tutors?
Yes.
Of New York?
It was so funny because it was snowing, I remember.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I remember it was cold. It was like one of the coldest winters too. And then like I was walking with my friend Nicole, who also is from London, who happens to be a photographer. And then all I hear is like, baby. And I was like, okay, there's two grown men like calling my name. And I was like, what? And then there you were.
With woolly hats and scarves.
Yeah. It was scary for the first like few seconds, but but it was like such a nice surprise.
Yeah.
I felt like, maybe that was like meant to happen or like fate or something where we were just like, it's just like everything was just colliding and just the best.
It was just one of those nice kind of AUB moments as well. In the middle of New York, a city of 30 million people, something ridiculous like that. I think I've exaggerated that a little bit. But
do you even remember where that was? Like,
I do.
Where?
Yeah. It was
West Village?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It was in the West Village. It was just a couple of about a block up from Houston.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
I don't even remember what I was doing there.
It was near the way you were staying.
Was it? No, because we stayed in 14th and 8th. Okay. So I was like, that's why I was like, what were we doing? Maybe we were going to a restaurant, or we came back from a restaurant.
Yeah. But that was great, and I think in a way that was, and it's since, as you say, it's almost like prophetic in a way. It was going to happen because then obviously, being the course goes to New York every year.
Yeah.
And every year we've been to visit since then, we've met up with you, which has been great.
It's been nice. Yeah. It's always nice to see a friendly face. Yeah.
And of course, and then the talk we go to students over.
Oh my gosh. I remember I was so nervous for that. Like, I remember like, I was like, okay, they want to know what I did. Like what I've been up to. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what have I been up to? And then I remember like thinking like, okay, I haven't really done much. Like, like I've only done a few jobs. And then I made it a thing where I made a presentation. Mm-hmm. I started to kind of go through my photography archives and, just like looking at my folders throughout the years and then like, selecting my like favorite photos from each shoot and like whether if it's like personal projects or like work projects. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, oh, I've actually done like quite a bit. And then I was a little less nervous. But yeah, I remember the presentation. I was I was nervous. I think I was nervous showing my work to you.
To me?
Yeah, and like to the students.
Right?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I think it's more just like I focused on. I was like, oh, I wonder like if he's like, oh, cool, like, or if it's like, oh, like, oh, that's what she's doing. Okay.
Oh, you thought it was gonna be like super judgmental?
Maybe, I don't know.
I hope not.
I mean, there's always a thought, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If like if you're doing enough, or for like since you've graduated,
It's like showing your dad, isn't it? You know?
Yeah. You know, like obviously, like the angle is to like have, you know, like the people who taught you, like who guided you to be like at least somewhat proud that like, oh, okay, like she's done something. And
no, well, we were. Yeah. So don't worry about that. So now that you're working as a freelance photographer, and of course, and as what would you call the other side of your work with the,
I call it like my side hustle.
Yeah.
And I call it like my 5 to 9. So my photography is like my 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And then I do it after work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to just kind of explain what that is?
Yeah. So it essentially started off as a plant account on Instagram, where I share my love and joy for plants and growing them and nurturing them in a small apartment in New York City. And I have so far nurtured over 200 plants in my apartment with 3 cats and my husband. And
plant mum.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Like crazy plant lady. And I guess essentially it kind of blossomed into a platform where I share educational content about my plants, how to grow them, styling them at home, and a little bit of like home design. And like lately I've been really enjoying dabbling into like my hosting era. So as a whole, it's kind of like a lifestyle platform now. Yeah.
Okay, and kind of a nice balance for the kind of more commercial hard end work that you're having to do.
Like, very different. You know, like my commercial work is very like intense and like, you know, obviously very business orientated. And I feel like my lifestyle content, it's a little bit more calm and less stressful, and just this like kind of world that I'm in amongst like my plants and my cats.
And with the commercial work that you're doing at the moment, so are there any kind of exciting jobs that are coming up, or anything you've done recently you thought, wow, this feels like a moment? Yeah,
I mean, I've worked with a few fun clients. So like Revlon was a big one for me. Random House, Penguin House Books is a great one. I've also worked with a lot of like independent fashion brands. When I first came to New York, I was striving for beauty, and that's where Revlon came in. And when it came to fashion, I loved fashion when I was in London, and I somewhat loved fashion when I was in Miami, but I was lack of it, like lack of creativity of fashion in Miami. So I went to New York thinking I was going to go into fashion, and instead I went into beauty, and then from beauty I kind of pivoted into kind of lifestyle, slightly less editing, slightly more relatable content and just imagery for brands. And I think that was also where the industry was leaning towards, where it was like UGC content for marketing, for newsletters, for blogs, for any sort of like social media content. So my work started to turn into working with small independent brands and also entrepreneurs. So photographing really amazing like entrepreneurs who are potentially like up and coming leaders of big brands, you know. So it was really cool to just be able to, in a way, like give back, because I really like the interaction of like photographing the individual and getting to know who they are, and also being able to like capture an energy through, you know, my lenses.
And so, I mean, thinking of that now and thinking about your career so far, going back to your time at AUB. So if you had your time again, knowing what you know now, is there anything that you would have done differently during your time at AUB?
Would I do anything differently? Honestly, I don't think so. I think I did. I I believe I maximized my university experience personally. I was constantly taking advantage of all the studios, befriending all the technicians to rent equipment. I was always in the Digi Suite, constantly using, like the suites, the equipment, and also, making the connections and friendships that I have. And I still had one today who we still work together. So which is really cool. I don't think I would do anything different.
Once again, looking back at that time and knowing what you know now, what advice would you give to your kind of like 21-year-old self?
I would probably ask more questions and like potentially make more mistakes.
So what, not be quite so precious about things?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I wasn't too precious. Like, I wasn't precious about it, but I feel like not just an advice to myself, I think for any student in AUB to take advantage of every single facility in the school. Ask as many questions, whether if it's like stupid or not, to any faculty that you like or not. And just make the mistakes, because I think when I was here, I remember like I don't even know how I did it, and I always look back at it, like where I worked with like my friend from film, and then I hired the second year or the first year photography students to become my assistants, and we went to like a forest and we built like a whole set, and I had like the prop team or like the costume team and the makeup team and the hair like I don't know how I did that, and we were like a team of 20. Like and obviously I look back and I cringe about the work when I see it, and like, but I look back and I'm like, how
did you do that?
How did I do that?
Yeah.
Like what, like where's this ambition coming from,
But it's about enjoying the journey, as you say, isn't it? Not always being so focused on that final outcome.
And I had a great time, and I hope everybody else did too, and I'm sure it was a memory for a lot of people. I remember it was so cold too, but we had fun, so I think make as many mistakes as you can in university, because once you're out in the real world, it's harder to make mistakes.
It's definitely the place to make those mistakes.
For sure.
Glorious failures.
Yes. Yeah. Fail in uni.
Yeah.
But pass.
Fail, but fail big.
Yeah.
And is there anything, as we sort of kind of conclude our little chat, is there anything on top of that you'd like to say to any young aspiring photographers, especially as kind of things are changing, and we've talked a little bit about AI and developments in those areas? Is there anything that you think, some words of positivity?
I think follow your gut. Sometimes if you're passionate about something, or if there's like a little voice that's telling you like, no, this is like what I really like to do and I really want to like look into, do it. Like, I feel like there's some people who might say like, don't do it, or this is not a good idea. I think just do it.
Yeah.
Why? Why? What do you have to lose?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, especially when you're 21, just do it.
Because you're never going to be 21 again. No.
Yeah. And just like try and say yes to every opportunity, and look for opportunities. That's a big one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, Phoebe, thank you for coming over. Lovely to see you again.
You too.
Part of the family. You're always welcome.
Thank you.
And I shall tell my students that if they ever need an or looking for some assisting in New York, to give you a call.
Sounds good.
Absolutely. Take care. Thank you.
Thanks.